Hi everyone. Today we're going to talk about the stock market fundamentals. One topic I wanted to really talk about was how shares works. Um, so let's talk about it. First of all, we're going to explain how a share works. Then we're going to talk about the raising capital, so how it affects the share, and then share buybacks the other way around. So this is a chart to explain a little bit more easily how the company shares will work. As you can see, there is a different like owners, shareholders into the company. The percentage varies depending on how many people buy shares, and like the number of share is different to every companies. And then you can buy or sell share depending on if you want to be in a private market or in like public. So you can just buy share in the stock market. Otherwise, you will have to reach out to people individually and offer them a percentage for some money in exchange. We want to know what happened when we buy share. There are two main things that could benefit from buying shares is to the ability to vote and the ability to receive dividends. So voting allow you to control the company, and like the more shares you have, the more vote you have, and the more influence you have over the company directors. I think most people don't understand that, but the stock market it's not just a video game, and it's the ability to buy a part of the company, and it doesn't matter whether it's public or not. If the price moves significantly or not, what matters is that you buy a piece of the company that you can own for the rest of your life, technically, unless the company is not doing well anymore. And it's a little bit like owning a house in a way, but having just a piece of that house instead of having the entire house. So now we're gonna talk about like two different ways to add or reduce shares in the company. So the first one is raising capital, and the other one is share buybacks. Share capital will simply increase the number of shares, and it's usually negative things for the owners because it devalues the number of shares. So that means everyone has a smaller percentage of the company after the share has been raised. The share buyback, on the contrary, is actually decrease the number of shares, which is very positive, and it allows you to own a bigger piece of the company without having to do anything, basically, apart from spending money on it. So here is a little description on like how raising capital works. So they are in this example we have 100 shares, and then we want to add 20 new shares. So that will be a total of 120 shares after the raising the capital, and then which is a clear explanation that after that we will have more share, and then we'll make the total number of share higher and the percentage of shareholder lower per shareholder. And here is an example of the share buybacks. So if you have 100 share and then you're buying back 20 shares, then I will leave you with 80 shares, which means that you have less share in the company, and everyone has a bigger percentage. So if you have like a 10%, you will have something like maybe 12% of the company, if I'm not mistaken. Why and when raising capital? So the first why, I give you a few examples of those, and the first one is a startup. So they will need capital, they will need cash to grow their businesses. that could be in the form of advertising, or that could be simply having more employees, or simply growing their businesses to create more revenues. The second one would be bigger companies. They tend to raise money because the first thing is to pay back their debt, and that will allow you to improve the financial statement of those businesses. The last one could be, for example, a junior miner. So they will have to raise cash because they need to explore and find like any commodities in the ground. So if you usually have, if you're raising capital, it's simply because you need cash and you want to do something with the cash that will create more value for shareholder in the long run. If you were to do that, then you will get easy raising capital. But if you were to not be able to prove easily why you would raise that capital, that would create an issue. So the other one is about like buying back shares. So share buybacks, they are the main reason is to improve the financial of the company, and it's could be a good thing or a bad thing depending on how the valuation of the company. So if the company was undervalued, there would be a really good things to do because it will allow to buy its share back for a very cheap amount, and that will allow to improve the ownership of all the shareholders very in a good way. But if the company was overvalued, it would need a lot of money to be able to buy back those shares, and that would actually be a detriment to the company more than just giving back dividends. So yeah, that is the main reason, is that the buyback is great when companies are undervalued. So in conclusion, we could just simply say that companies shares varies depending on, like, every company has a different number of shares, and then they can be expanded, reduced. It's not fixed, so that is the danger of not knowing exactly like the size of what you own. So if you own like 100 shares of a company, but it keep diluting all the time, then you will have a smaller piece of the company. But if they keep doing share buybacks and then add values, then it would be a much better way to own companies, and that is what we have to be careful as compared with ownership or full ownership of the company, is to make sure the shareholders spend their like cash or raise cash when needed and the best time possible, and not just as they wish, or to increase their salary or to do anything like that. So I hope I explained pretty well what shares are. It's the first video, so I just hope that I can just get it out and you guys know what you think, and see if I can make more videos after that. Thank you.